Okay, I think that's better. Everybody hear me? Okay, so, hello from Saren's Rim, everybody. Glad you could make it. It's me, Trilaterum Tim. Trilaterum Stacy, unfortunately, is at a business trip, so she will not be joining us tonight. So it's just me. We have some cool things to talk about tonight. We're going to be going over some rules update at the intermission point of the painting. We're going to work on the new Trold vehicle. We're going to finish that up hopefully tonight. We're also going to be putting some more paint on the new compound mecha, as well as you guys will get a sneak peek at one of the new Kaevur units that's going to be coming. So lots of cool things to talk about and lots of cool things to see. I'm going to switch over to the painting mics or to the painting camera. I just got to double check the mics on that. So you just got to give me a second to get over there. Everybody hear me okay still? I'm hoping. Okay. I think we're good. Okay, so let me get over to the painting table. Sorry about the kerfuffle there, folks. My streaming app decided to disable all the mic inputs. So who knows? So last we met, I was working on this lovely Trolled vehicle, and we had an issue with the color of the ink. So what we're going to do is these black pads on the bottom, we're just going to go over those in full with the Grim Black, and that should solve the issue we had. There wasn't any major issues with the other spots, so I think that will solve our issue. So once again, I'm using the Grim Black Speed Paint to touch up the areas around the brass um, rivets on this guy. So I hope everybody's doing well tonight. We had a great time at Webway Games over the weekend. We had lots of games played, lots of shenanigans were had, and then we had the really cool stream where we debuted the Bug heavy vehicle and the Behemoth, and that was super cool. So all I'm doing here is I'm going to go in and do this leg plate all in this black, darken it up so that it matches the other leg plate. Um, so those heavy vehicles will actually be going live tomorrow on the web store. If you haven't had a chance to pick them up, that will be your chance to grab them. They're $40 a piece, and they'll be stock limited. So I'll only have so many in stock. So right now I think I have 3 of each. So as they're sold, their inventory will go down on the site, and as I get more printed, they'll go back up. They're quite a long print, so instead of having people pay for them and have to wait, I'd rather control the stock on them. I like to get the orders out as fast as possible. So when people order, I don't want them to have to wait a number of days before I'm able to ship it. So I'm just that kind of guy. I like to get things out as quick as possible. There's nothing worse than when you mail order something and it just takes weeks and weeks and weeks. Although, growing up in the 80s, that was kind of the MO, you'd find something in the in a comic book and you'd mail order it and oof, you never know if it would come. Yes, Rico, the thunderous charge is pretty nasty. Unfortunately, Josh's dice were just not with him on Saturday evening. I think that he had a couple of chances to do some really nasty stuff, and the dice gods were just not very forgiving for him. Though in the end, he did squeak out the win. Um, but I was really hoping for just some nasty thunderous charges. So for those of you that haven't seen the rules update, the thunderous charge is the the Brood Behemoth's special rule, and what he gets to do is one of his three actions, because heavy vehicles get three actions. One of his three actions can be what's called the Thunderous Charge, and that is he moves in a straight line, his full movement, or her. I don't want to be gender to that thing. So it moves its full movement, and any units that it touches or moves over during that time frame, it makes a attack on, and it's four attacks with power 4 and HE. So it really is, if it can line up and get a thunderous charge off a bunch of infantry stands, it's just gonna munch them up. So he was able to get one thunderous charge off. I can believe it was a medic and a couple other stands, and it definitely did a lot of damage. So, and then unfortunately, the rest of the game was the two heavy vehicles just duking it out, kaiju style, like Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, or somebody said it was more like the Pacific Rim, because it was a biological versus a mechanical, because since the Broods is more of a mechanical vehicle. There we go. So yeah, so all we're doing is just going in here and cleaning up these leg plates. Actually, they look pretty cool with the darker color. I think I like that. So I'm gonna look over here. So the rest of the model I used Grave Lord Gray on. So that was what I actually used. I thought I had used the Grim Black, but I remembered now that the Grim Black wasn't out yet. The Brood Behemoth is so big that it covers any and all pronouns in existence. That is very funny, Rico. I like the cut of your jib, sir. So sound off if you're new to the stream. I'd love to hear what you have going on. Also, what is on everybody's painting table tonight? Hopefully, you're hobbying with me as we go on this journey. I love to see what people have going on. So we're gonna actually. There's a couple of spots I want to clean up, but we're gonna put white down before we clean them up, because I want them to. I want it to be a clean with that color, because I did get a little bit of messy with that brass, especially up by this little exhaust pipage up here. So we're just gonna hit that with a little white, so that it's not quite so you can't quite see it as much then. And then we had a couple spots right here. Yeah. There. Well, looks like I already hit that with white. So yeah, that looks good. Okay. That's too funny. I can't stop laughing about that. It's too big for pronouns. So while that white dries, it's only going to take a minute or two. Um, it's probably already dry. Yeah, we'll let it dry for a minute. We're gonna put a little bit of color on our mech here. So this is gonna be the next in the series of compound mechs. We still don't have a name for it. We're gonna do a contest for that. So Rico says he's in break mode as he's still recovering from all the tavern. I saw Rico's tavern over the weekend, and it was bonkers. The amount of barrels and crates and furniture that you painted was crazy, crazy insane. So my hat is tipped to you, sir. So we're gonna go ahead right here, and we're just gonna give we're gonna paint the sword with the metal color, as well as these blasters, because he's gonna walk in and start blasting. So I like to use my go-to for metal is the Vallejo gunmetal 863 in the model color line. It's just a really good color. I really like it. So we got a lot of cool things in the fire. Um, the next month's releases are semi on track. I'm doing my best to get them out. I've got a very busy October, so they may not come out till the second or third week. I'm trying very hard to get them out. That'll be the bulk of the brood. So you're going to have the bigger brood beasts as well as the transport coming out. So Rico says he's going to prime those fancy rocks. Oh, great. I actually printed out a couple more for me so that I can have them for the tables at ArmorCon. They look so good on the tables. I just want more. So, and that's kind of the bonus of being the guy that has them is I can print myself some. So, yeah, I have about I think JC did 10 sculpts of those. So there's a lot to choose from. Maybe it was less. Maybe it was 7. But if you haven't seen them, they look really cool. I'll get some pictures up on the site so that you can see them. I usually only sell those at shows, but if people are interested, I can put them up on the web store. They just haven't made it up there. I have a number of items that are usually show only just because of simplistic sake, keeping track of SKUs and all of that. But they seem to be very popular, so I may get them up on the site as well as all the mushrooms. People love the big mushrooms. Alright, so we're just giving that a little metal there. And then we're going to do the same to these little gun pods on his shoulders. Anybody watching anything good on movies or sci-fi wise? I went back and I started revisiting the first Gundam series. They added them all to Netflix. So if you're interested in rewatching Gundam, it's all up there now. I was like putting something on while I'm watching, while I'm just doing other things if I'm drawing or getting sculpts ready to be on the to be printed. I'll just throw something on in the background. Speaking of background, I had a question for people. I was talking with Stacy and we were thinking about possibly having some background music going on during these little painted chats. A little bit of um, classical music or just something in the background. What do people think about that? Just to break through the dead silence when no one's talking. I was just curious. I don't. I'm fairly new to the streaming world, so I don't know what other people do in this kind of stream. If they have background music going, I know when you're streaming video games, you have all the sound from the video games, so it's not as much of a thing. But I was just curious what people thought. How did I like the? I haven't watched it yet, so I was down for the stream on Saturday, and then I stayed a little bit of the day on Sunday, and came home, and I've come down with a cold a little bit, so Stacy wanted to watch the Game of Thrones, so we watched the new Game of Thrones on last night, but we didn't get to the Rings of Power yet, so please don't. Please don't spoil it for me. Wade's watching driving back from Nashua, New Hampshire. That's an interesting show. I heard there's a lot of good things to see while you're driving that way. Hopefully, you're not going through the city and hitting all the traffic. So, classical music would be groovy, but we don't want to put Wade to sleep. I know we don't want Wade falling asleep while he drives. That wouldn't be very good. All right, so we've got these painted, so we're gonna set this aside for a few minutes and keep going on the Trold vehicle. Trold bot. We got to give him a good name. What's a good name for the Trold bot? So once again I'm going to use the Speed Paint Grave Lord Gray, which was the original color I used on this guy. So, get a couple drops on the old palette. And there we go. I still got to paint the little missiles here. So we just got some spots we need to clean up. Mainly under these shoulder pads and stuff. Yep, that was the color. Sure enough. Anybody else remember that movie? The Kung Fu or the Shogun of Harlem. What was that movie? Barry Gordon's The Last Dragon. It always gives me a chuckle. No, just going in and kind of cleaning this up. Looking for spots. Classic music. So, unfortunately, I have to monitor the chat at the same time as paint. So, if I miss your comments, I will get to them ASAP here. Just give these guys a little bit over. So what I did on the Kaevur is I gave them a wash with the strong tone right over the white before I start painting it, so that you guys can kind of see some of the details. So when we get to that tonight, you won't be straining your eyeballs trying to see the details on them. So I know they're kind of hard to see the white on the camera. So, oops, sorry, didn't mean to smack the camera. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna let him dry, and then we're gonna put some washes on. We're gonna give the gun and the brass a little bit of the brown wash from GW or Agraxos Shade. So we'll put him aside. Okay, why don't we pull out some Kaevur so you guys can see. So these are the latest sculpts from JC. They're her Kaevur. So they're really, really cool. Space. There we go, Rico. Who's the meanest karate master? Showing off. That's right. So these are JC's new Space Dwarves. They're I chose all the female sculpts to do. Actually, let me swap it out to this one so you can see she's got these cool Leia buns. They are super cool. I have the exosuits cut, and they'll be printing tonight. But these models are just really, really cool. I'm going to actually bring them up and give you a focus on them so you can hopefully see. They're just really cool. Hopefully the focus works. So yeah, just really cool models. So we're going to work on them. I'm going to refocus. So I haven't quite decided what I want to do with these guys. I'm thinking I'll go on their clothing, maybe an OD green, and then I could pick out the straps and stuff in a dry brush, maybe some brown boots, and I was thinking guns and helmets would just be the silver, the silver metal. What do you guys think? So that was kind of my thought process. So I guess I'll grab some OD and start going to town here. I think I can pull out all these pouches and everything with a dry brush fairly easily, so that we don't have to do too many color changes on these guys. But they're just phenomenal models, really cool. So, all right, so why don't we do that? Why don't I get out some OD green? I'm gonna go with. Let's see. Where is my? Yeah, I'll use that. So the game color line, we're gonna stick with that. We're gonna go with the. No, I think that's too dark. We're gonna go with this, the Cayman. It's called the Cayman. I'm gonna find it. Sorry, it's on the other end here. Okay, so we're going to go with Cayman Green, game color 67. Prometheus. Oh, I like that. That's cool. I like the scent. Yeah, that sounds really good. Yeah, I like that a lot. So throw some OD green down. Okay. Vortex. Yes, I have a Vortex mixer. I love it. I will tell. I have a regular shaker mixer too that I bought years and years and years ago. It's basically just a little one that you use for nail polish, and I bought the Vortex. I got one that's I think it was $30 on Amazon. It's one that for tattoo ink for tattoo paints, and I love it, love it, love it, love it. I highly suggest every miniature painter out there grab themselves a Vortex mixer. It makes your life so easy. One of my best hobby expenditures. So I'm just going in here with this olive green, Cayman green. I'm gonna do basically I'm gonna do everything, including the knee pads here. They got these little knee pads on them, so I'll do those as well. And on the boots, we'll do like in a brown. I think that'll look good. Let's go brown. And then we'll pull out the metal, like the tips of their. See how they got these like steel toes? We'll do the steel toes in that metal too. I think it'll look super cool. And then we'll do the flesh. Probably do a darker flesh on them. Um, I like to use on my dwarves. Um, or Vallejo has it's called dark flesh tone, and then I dry brush over it with um, parasite brown. So you use this color for the base, and then this color is the dry brush, and it really comes out well. It makes a nice almost like a really super tan person. So, um, but it spend a lot of time out in the sun, kind of thing, you know. Uh, these dwarfs are beefy too. They got big old muscles. And she's got these arm. They got these arm. You know what? We're just gonna paint the whole glove because it's a whole glove. So we'll just paint the whole glove the green. The nice thing about these 15 mil models is you really only need a handful of colors. You know, pick out maybe 3 colors to use on them, and with dry brushing and everything, you can really knock out the models very quickly, and they look really cool. So yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, we'll just dry brush to pull the details out of the straps and everything. So I think I can easily do that. They got these cool helmets too. These cool helmets with these lights on them. They're gonna be a lot of fun to paint. So I'm very excited for these. So I'm not sure yet, but we've been discussing Stacy and I. Sorry, Rico Suave. Yes, best $50 paired with missing balls. Yep, Vortex Mister. All the way to go. So I've been talking with Stacy about some of the upcoming army releases, and we're thinking of doing, instead of having everything individually blistered, we're thinking of doing regiment packs. And so you'd get like maybe 500 points or so in the back. You'd get a special model that wouldn't be released otherwise in there, maybe a commander or a special sergeant or something. And if you field the regiment all as one, there would be some sort of a bonus rule that regiment gets. So we're kind of playing around with the idea. I'm trying to mix it up a little bit so that every release is just yet another army that you can just add to the mix. I want people to have exciting reasons other than I like the models to field them. So yeah, and it also helps me on the short end because instead of releasing 5 SKUs, say, I could release 1 SKU. Um, it just makes it easier from a logistics standpoint. So we're playing with that idea. We're gonna knock it around and kind of see. I don't think everything's gonna be that way, but I think for some of the models that we have that we want to have more limited releases, maybe it's not a fully fleshed out army yet, or maybe we want to slow the release of the army down so it's not all at once. Um, that's kind of what we're thinking. And it makes it a little bit easier on everybody's pocket so that they don't have to go run out and catch them all right away, you know. So, all right, so we're gonna go on to Leia here. Give her. I love those Leia buns. They just make me laugh. They're just too cool. Yeah. Kind of a cooler day today. Hi, Mom. How are you? I don't even think it got out of the 60s today, which is fine by me because I'm kind of. I worked, but I work from home because I'm not. I'm a little under the weather. This cold is kind of doing me in. I don't have the COVID though. I tested to make sure. Don't want to give my coworkers and cohabitants the COVID if I have it. So we had a very productive weekend with my mom. I went and stayed with my mom when I was down at Webway, and we sewed 55 dice bags. So we are fresh full of dice bags for the upcoming show season. Very cool. It's going to be, I got some really cool designs this time, so I think people will be excited. So I think everybody's going to like what we have to show. Yeah, that just looks totally cool. Very, very, very cool. So what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to pull out the boots with brown. We'll pull out the flesh, and then the gun and the helmets are going to be silver with blue visors, I think. Oh, I forgot to do his knee pads with the olive. Yeah, I like that. I like this olive. It's a nice looking olive. Be great for painting an American Airborne Army or something for World War II. I've painted a lot of World War II over the years. So, yeah, everything I think that looks good. Okay. So we're going to let that guy start to dry. We'll pull our Trold back on. I think we're going to do the Agrax. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to hit it. My camera is right by the water bowl, so I tend to smack it when I'm going for my water. So, unfortunately. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put Agrax on the brass, the red, and the gun. So then we've got to figure out what we're going to do with those little missiles. That's something I haven't really thought about yet. Get out a good wash paint brush, I mean. Okay. Okay. Well, we learned something new today, and that is when we're doing our pre-stream tests, we need to test the mics. Yeah. So that was my fault. So I apologize, everybody. I dropped the ball on that. Like I said, I'm a little discombobulated from this cold. Okay, we're just gonna put a little happy little Agrax Earth shade on that. Happy little Agrax. Yeah. Agrax Earth shade. Does a body good. I like this little drill arm. Brr, 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 brr. That's what drill sounds like. If you didn't know. Just gonna kind of put little spots on these little bit on the brassy brass. Brassy brass is the actual name. So if you're wondering, Stacy and I talked about this last week. It's actually called brassy brass. You can talk to Vallejo about it. I didn't make it up. There we go. Yeah, this guy looks cool. He looks cool. Yeah, I like him. They're cool, Minnie. This is one of JC's that I repurposed. Like it. Alright, I like it. Okay. Alright, we're gonna let that guy dry for a little bit. And I'm gonna go over to the main cam and we'll talk rules for a little bit. Hey everybody. So what's going on with Trilaterum? So we had some games over the weekend and a few rules questions came up. So I went ahead and did some errata after we talked about the things that were coming up. One of the main things that came up was a little bit of clarification on drop deployment. And I know in the past the wording in the rule book hasn't been 100% clear. So we did one round in the errata and I did a second round this week. And so it boils down to this. At the start of the turn, you roll your initiative. Then, in initiative order, determine whether drop deploys are going to be placed. So whoever has initiative, if they have a drop deploy, roll for that unit. If that unit is available that turn, they drop deploy right then and there. Then you place the unit. And one of the other changes we made was that units that are placed are able to do one action that can be either a ranged combat action or a firefight action. So you can launch a single firefight from the drop deployment if you're in range. Now remember, this is starting at the beginning of the turn. So whatever you firefight won't have activated and it will be able to do a reaction shot at you. So that's kind of the give and take on that. But you are given that option. It kind of will I could see combos where people will suppress units to set them up for that possible charge on a drop deploy. I think that's where you'll see that shine. And then once the person who has initiative has placed and resolved their drop deploys, the other person will do the same thing, and then your turn starts. Okay, so that has been reworded in the errata. So next month when we publish the errata, it'll be in there, but you could start using that now. We also did some fine tuning of the rules for the heavy vehicles. So those there's some tweaks and twists in there. The main thing that we had to clarify was the thunderous charge, how that all works. So when you're thunderous charging, units that haven't activated, they can activate to move out of the way. When the thunderous charge, when you've reached the end of your thunderous charge range, if you end it on top of units, those units get to move away even if they are attacked, but they have to still be moved away because nothing can be within an inch. So SRG Turtle, they are in the errata. They will go up. I guess I can publish them. I'll publish them in the next day or so. So they will be in the Army List download that's on Drive Through RPG. So that includes the errata. So I'll get those uploaded now so everybody can start playing with them now. It just makes those drop deploy units just a little bit better. I think people will be a little happier using them that way. And like I said, the changes to the heavy vehicles, it's just some minor tweaking of wording and how things are resolved that we saw in this next round, in this last round of games that people were playing them in. I was super stoked to see them on the table, and it seemed like people had a lot of fun playing them. So I can't wait to see more and more out there. Again, those will be going live tomorrow in the web store. So if you want to pick yourself up one, we have several available of each one. They're a lot of fun, and they're fun to paint. I like them a lot. So, anyways, I guess we'll go back to some painting unless there's any other questions that anybody has. Next week, I'm going to start in our first of many tactics. We're going to talk tactics and some things that I've seen in games as well as me playing Trilaterum that people can use in their games and maybe some strategies. So if you have some things you'd like discussed, let me know, and we can add them to the checklist. So we'll go back over to the painting cam. Okay, so we got our aggressor shade down. I already see a little spot I missed, so good thing we didn't put that away just yet. Something right here I just missed. So get that in there. Get it in there nice and deep like. So a unit and a drop card can disembark. Units and drop pods could always. So the transport version didn't change because transport was always the transport drops. You place the units and then they activate later in the turn as normal. So that will not change. But the biggest clarification was when the units, when the drop pods and the drop capable units hit the table, and that happens at the beginning of the turn before there's any other activations. So just gotta get home, gotta get off screen. Have a good night. Have a good one, Wade. So yes. So to clarify, drop capable units that have transport, again, you place the units after determining initiative order. They're then you then resolve those units. So if it's a transport, it can use its one action to disembark all of the people on board. Then those units will activate as normal later in the turn. Okay. So, but they're also effectively out there flapping, possibly get shot. But the whole point of the drop is to get those units out there as soon as possible into that. So I'm gonna work a little bit on this alternate sculpt transport for the Agaricale. I'm just using some brown on this shell. These are the speed paint hardened leather. Just have a couple of spots that I missed when I put this on earlier. So we're just gonna fill that in. And I think I used a different color brown. I did. This was wormwood, not hardened leather. Oh well. You know what? We'll just go over the whole thing with hardened leather. Because that's how I roll. Make it rain hardened leather. So we're getting into October. It's going to be spooky season. Everybody will be looking at Dave's Devil in the Wilderness for their spooky gaming time. What are some of people's favorite Halloween type activities? Any movies you like to watch each year? Any specific places you like to go each year? Me personally, I'm a sucker for Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. It's an incredibly good movie, even though it's completely bat crazy. So I will definitely be watching that. I've been going through and re-listening to some How Did This Get Made podcast. If you've never listened to How Did This Get Made, it's a whole bunch of comedians that they basically talk about bad movies and how in the world did anyone finance this movie. It's got Jason Mantzoukas and Paul Scheer. It's very, very funny. But I've been watching. I went through and I listened to the Sleepaway Camp one. Which, if you haven't seen Sleepaway Camp, it is a bonkers, crazy slasher movie from the '80s, with an ending that's gonna make your head spin if you haven't seen it yet. Um, but I listened to that. I like to listen to podcasts when I drive long distances. So when I was driving to and from Webway, I listened to that one. I listened to the Garbage Pail Kid one, which was bananas as well, and the Howard the Duck. You know, I remember seeing Howard the Duck when I was a kid. I did not remember just how crazy of a movie it is, and how just I mean things. This was a PG movie. That wow, the things that went on in that movie. You know, anthropomorphized ducks, and yeah, it was crazy. So it was fun. It was a good, funny listen while I was driving. Um, so yeah, so we're just going over this again with some brown. Going to Browntown. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Since I used rock color brown, I had to go through and give it some more brown. Okay, now we're going to, while the stuff is drying on that, we're going to bring back our dwarfs. And I think we're going to do the brown on the shoes. Let me get a good brown out here. There's a really good color that I like from the Vallejo line called Earth. It's called Terra. It's right here. It's called Terra. It's a really deep brown. Okay, Rico. Any exciting projects that will be available during the Wargaming Flea at the Polish American Club in Uxbridge? Um, I don't have any new exciting releases. I might have some stuff out of the older back catalog that I'm just I don't have the I'm not isn't currently in the line anymore, but I have some back stock that I might sell at a discount. They're all in bags at the moment. Um, so I'll have those. I'll have a bunch of, if you're looking for board games, or I have tons and tons of Mantic sprues, 28 mil fantasy that I'm bringing. I'll be bringing some of my other lines, so I'll have the 28 mil World War II, as well as some 15 mil modern stuff that I've printed. Bunch of World War II bunkers and stuff. I have terrain for that that I sell. That's part of the trench coat miniatures line. That's our non Trilaterum miniatures line. So I'll have that with me. Um, so yeah, so stop on by. I'll have lots of cool stuff. I have some miniature games that are in the catalog that I just want to get rid of. I think I got some American Civil War stuff there that I want to fill off. Yeah, just all kinds of stuff. I have a Flames of War Vietnam Army that I'm trying to move. So yeah, if you're around on the 1st, it will be at the Polish American Hall in Uxbridge, Mass. It's going to be it's a lot of fun. I go there. I've been there a couple of years now, and it's always just a fun, good time. A lot of people. It's only a couple of hours, and then after that, our next thing is ArmorCon. Hopefully, people are coming to ArmorCon. We'll see you there. I'm gonna have my booth set up. Um, I'll have. We've got a Trilaterum event going on Saturday night. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So I really hope people come see us at ArmorCon. Our friends Bloody Scotsman will be there. Things from the Basement's going to be there. for all your laser cut needs. It's going to be a hoot. So definitely try to stop by. Yeah, Rico, I have a bunch of World War II stuff, so come on by if you're around. It'd be good to see you. I have a line that I license that's for World War II. I've got quite a few lines actually that I license in that historical space. There's a World War II line. There's a bunch of ancients. Um, there's I just got the Wild West line from 3D Breed. Lots of cool stuff. Yeah, it's there's a lot of good stuff in those libraries, and unfortunately, they're so big. It's really hard to advertise. So I try to paint some examples up or have some examples on hand for people to see. But Stacy's been really on me to get a catalog of some sort going, so I really think I need to, just so people can see all the stuff I normally don't have at the shows, because there's so much there. Okay, we got some brown boots. Yeah, great. I like the cut of that jib. We'll just keep going. I'm booked in the morning that Saturday of ArmorCon, but hope to make a day and night trip to take part. That'd be awesome to have you. Love to have you. Yeah, so that's going to be at 5 o'clock on Saturday. The Trilaterum themed event. It's going to be a couple of link scenarios. We're going to have punch and pie. There'll be giveaways. It's going to be a hoot. So definitely come by. All right, we're going to go ahead and put down some of that dark flesh tone on the flesh here. Okay. Huh. Dark flesh tone is it's not looking as good as it usually does. There we go. Okay. It's like a reddish brown. I like it. I think it'll look good on these guys. Let me get a little thinner brush. It's a little thick on my head. So the other thing that I'm toying with is having other basic materials available in the booth. So right now we carry the gamer grass, but I was also considering having some rocks and some sand. Do people think that'd be something they'd be interested in seeing? Um, all the stuff that I use basically when I do the bases. Yeah, see, it's like a reddish brown. I think it'll look good on the when you dry brush it with the that other lighter brown. It looks really good. Um, so you're just gonna have to trust me. Although my mom always said, never trust anybody that says trust me. So I guess trust me? Question mark? Question mark? Alright, so there's just a little bit of the mouth kind of sticks out the bottom of the helmet, so we'll just give it a little dab of color there. The beefy arms on these guys. Gals, I mean. They're ready to mine some ore or take on some bad guys. The new 3D pre-joiner Die Wanted looks amazing. Yes. Yep, I have that whole line. I believe um, I have all the sculpts at this point. So if there's stuff that you're looking for, just let me know. I also have they have a American Revolution as part of that join or die line. So I have a number of really characterful of that time period sculpts. So they're interesting. Um, so check those out. They're kind of neat. got some new buildings I just got in. They're some sci-fi desert buildings, so those will be hitting the booth as well. I think I'm going to try to get some printed, although my print queue is quite quite out of control at the moment. I'm having to put some customers and tell them that I just don't have room in the custom print queue at the moment. So, but we'll get it eventually. Yeah. So those look cool. Yeah, I'm liking that. And these will look really good. Yeah, digging those. We got a little bit of time. I'm gonna go ahead and start putting some of that gunmetal on there. We still got a few minutes. Yeah, we'll put a little gunmetal on the guns maybe, and we'll call it an evening. Doot doot. Oh, I forgot the gloves on this guy. This gal. I'll have to go in and put the gloves on her. She's got a little bolt pistol kind of thing going on here. Almost looks like a rivet gun. I like that. And then she's got this cool power claw. Very cool. Power fist, you know. Slippy fist of doom kind of thing. Should have waited. The brown. I'm a little too close to the brown. Going to Brown Town here. Yeah, I'm going to have to go back in there. Oh well. I'll go back in later. Go ahead and get this helmet. Oh yeah. Looking good. Almost reminds me of a movie called like Deep Star 6, I think it was. It was underwater, but they had this kind of helmets, these really big, beefy helmets with lights on them and stuff. And that's what it kind of looks like to me. I know I'm pulling some really bad movies out of the woodwork here tonight. If you don't know me, I love horrible movies. Just the worse movie, the better. Stacy always makes fun of me. I don't like just B movies. I like the D, E, and F movies, you know. Some of those are just great. Okay. There's actually one that I really like. It's called Galaxy of Terror. It's got this weird, like, spaceship that goes to this planet where the master is. It's crazy. Just search it out. It's on. I think it's on Tubi or something for free. It's crazy. Trust me. If you like bad sci-fi movies, search that one out. It's a trip. Got one more rifle here. We'll hit. So let me know in chat or somewhere if you want to see what you'd like to see next week. I was going to continue with these Kaevur. Would you like to see more Kaevur? Do you want to see something new? I could do some of the new Gaddikins that are coming. I also have some of the bigger brood bugs that I need to work on, so I could work on those. Let me know what you'd like to see, and I will try to accommodate. Oh, that's right, the little tips of the boots here. Little steel toed. Wouldn't want to get kicked with those. Jeez. There's some crazy steel toe going on there. I don't have anybody yelling frame at me. I know. I keep taking it out of frame. Sorry. Frame. I'm calling it on myself. Frame. Couple more toes here. Call it a night. Well, it might do orange hair. I think that'd be kind of cool. Like fire orange. Like Merida from Brave. Okay, well, I think we're at a stopping point with those guys. We'll let them go for now. We're going to switch over to the main cam. Bigger brood or Gattacan figures. Okay, we can do that. We can oblige that. Well, thank you everybody for showing up. I appreciate the support. As always, I'm available on Facebook, on Instagram. You can email me. The website's trilaterum.com. And hopefully you had fun tonight. And the rules updates made sense, hopefully. I'll have those up, as I said. SRG, we'll get those up in the next day or two. I just gotta put some dots of I's and cross some T's. As well as you should see the heavy vehicles in the store by tomorrow. So thanks again for joining us. Have a good night and keep on painting. Goodbye from Saren's Rim.